you've arrived at the nightly narrative journal, a quiet place where every story drifts softly into the night. Settle in, take a slow breath, and let the calm guide you. If you enjoy these gentle journeys, feel free to subscribe and join us for more nighttime tales. You are walking along a narrow path through a winter forest. The world around you is blanketed in pristine white snow, untouched except for your footprints trailing behind. Each step forward is gentle and purposeful, your boots making soft crunching sounds against the packed snow. The air is crisp and cold against your face, but you are dressed warmly in layers of soft wool and fleece. Your breath creates small clouds of vapor that drift away into the stillness of the forest. Tall evergreen trees stand like silent sentinels on either side of the path, their branches heavy with accumulated snow. Occasionally, a small shower of powder falls from a branch high above, catching the fading afternoon light and creating a brief cascade of sparkling crystals. The sky above is a pale gray-white, soft and diffused, promising more snow to come. Everything feels hushed and peaceful, as though the world is holding its breath in quiet reverence. The path curves gently upward, winding between the trees. You are in no hurry. Each step is measured and calm. The cold air fills your lungs with each breath, clean and sharp, clearing your mind of everything except this present moment. There is nothing to think about, nothing to plan, nothing to worry over. There is only the path, the snow, the trees, and the soft whisper of wind moving through the branches far above. As you continue walking, the forest begins to thin slightly. Through the gaps between trees, you catch glimpses of a small clearing ahead. The light is softer here, filtered through the overcast sky, creating an even blanket of gentle illumination. Your pace remains steady and unhurried. The path is easy beneath your feet, well worn enough to guide you, but covered with fresh snow that muffles all sound. After another 50 paces, the forest opens completely into a small meadow. In the center of this clearing, nestled against a backdrop of towering pines, stands a small wooden cabin. It is simple and sturdy, built from dark timber logs that contrast beautifully with the snow piled on its slanted roof. A stone chimney rises from one side, and even from here, you can see the faintest wisp of smoke curling upward into the gray sky. Someone has prepared this place for you, lighting the fire so that warmth would be waiting upon your arrival. The cabin has two windows facing toward you, their glass reflecting the pale light. A small covered porch extends from the front entrance, its roof heavy with snow, but providing shelter for the solid wooden door. A neat stack of firewood sits to one side of the porch, covered with canvas to keep it dry. Everything about this place speaks of simplicity, shelter, and peace. You approach the cabin slowly, taking in every detail. The snow around the structure is undisturbed except for the single set of footprints leading to the door from an hour or two ago, already being filled in by fresh snowfall. You climb the 3 wooden steps to the porch, your boots leaving fresh tracks. Reaching for the door handle, you feel the cold metal beneath your gloved hand. You turn it slowly, and the door opens inward with a soft creak. Warmth rushes out to meet you, carrying the scent of burning wood and a hint of pine. You step inside and gently close the door behind you, shutting out the cold winter air. The transition from the crisp outdoor cold to the enveloping warmth of the cabin is immediately soothing. You stand for a moment in the small entryway, letting your body adjust, feeling the heat begin to seep through your layers of clothing. As your eyes adjust to the dimmer interior light, The cabin reveals itself in all its cozy simplicity. The main room is not large, perhaps 20 feet square, but it feels perfectly proportioned and welcoming. The walls are made of the same dark timber logs you saw from outside, their surfaces smooth and aged, speaking of years of faithful shelter against the elements. The ceiling follows the slant of the roof, creating a peaked space that adds to the sense of being enclosed in something protective and warm. Directly ahead, against the far wall, a stone fireplace contains a steady fire. The flames dance and flicker in shades of orange and gold, their light creating moving shadows across the wooden floor. The fire has been burning for some time, and the room is thoroughly warmed. You can feel the heat radiating outward, welcoming you deeper into the space. Above the fireplace, a simple wooden mantel holds a few items: an oil lamp with a glass chimney, a small wooden box, and nothing more. The simplicity is deliberate and peaceful. To the left of the fireplace sits a comfortable armchair upholstered in dark green fabric, worn soft with age. A thick woolen blanket in shades of cream and brown is draped over its back. Next to the chair, a small side table holds a candle in a brass holder and a pair of reading glasses. The floor in front of the chair is covered with a braided rug in muted colors, adding another layer of warmth. On the right side of the room stands a small dining table made of solid oak, its surface smooth and golden in the firelight. Two simple wooden chairs are tucked under the table. Against the back wall, a basic kitchen area features a small cast iron stove, a wooden counter, open shelves holding dishes and cups, and a deep ceramic sink. Everything is tidy and in its place, ready for use, but requiring nothing in this moment. A narrow doorway in the far right corner leads to what must be the bedroom, though from here you can see only darkness beyond. Near the entrance where you stand, wooden pegs on the wall offer places to hang coats and scarves. Beneath them, a small bench provides a seat for removing boots. You begin the process of removing your outdoor layers. First, your gloves, pulling each finger free and feeling your hands emerge into the warm air. You place them on the bench beside you. Next, you unwind the thick scarf from around your neck, the wool soft and slightly damp from your breath during the walk. It joins the gloves. Your heavy coat comes off next, its weight suddenly noticeable as you lift it from your shoulders. You hang it on one of the pegs, where it can dry if needed. Sitting on the bench, you unlace your boots carefully, loosening each crossing until you can slide your feet free. The relief of removing the heavy boots is immediate. Your thick socks are dry and warm, and you wiggle your toes, feeling the circulation return fully. You place the boots neatly beside the bench, out of the way. Standing again in just your comfortable indoor layers, you feel lighter and more at ease. You walk slowly toward the center of the room, your sock-covered feet silent on the wooden floor. The warmth of the fire reaches you more directly now, and you extend your hands toward it, palms open, feeling the gentle heat against your skin. The flames continue their endless dance, never quite repeating the same pattern, endlessly fascinating in their simple beauty. You take a moment to simply stand here, absorbing the atmosphere of the cabin. Outside, through the windows, you can see that snow has begun falling more steadily now. The flakes drift past the glass in lazy spirals, adding to the accumulation already covering the ground. But inside, everything is warm and protected. The fire crackles softly, a log settling with a gentle pop and a brief shower of sparks that vanish into the chimney. You notice your small travel bag has been placed near the door, brought up earlier when the fire was lit. Moving to it now, you kneel down and unfasten the simple buckles. Inside are a few changes of comfortable clothes, a book, a journal with a pen, and some basic toiletries. You take out the book and journal, carrying them to the side table near the armchair. Everything else can wait until later. The oil lamp on the mantel draws your attention. Although the fire provides good light, the lamp would add a steady, warm glow to the room. You walk to the fireplace and examine it. The brass base is tarnished with age, but clean. The glass chimney is clear, and the wick appears ready for use. A small box of matches sits beside it. You strike a match, watching the flame bloom to life, and carefully light the wick. After a moment, you adjust it to a comfortable level, then replace the glass chimney. The lamp adds its golden light to that of the fire, and the room feels even more welcoming. As the warmth continues to settle into your bones, you become aware of a gentle hunger. Nothing urgent or demanding, but a quiet reminder that the body needs sustenance, especially after the walk through the cold. You move toward the small kitchen area, your steps slow and unhurried. There is no rush here, no schedule to keep, no obligations waiting. Time moves differently in this place. The kitchen is basic, but well stocked with essentials. Open shelves reveal earthenware dishes in cream and brown, sturdy and simple. A few pots and pans hang from hooks beneath the shelves. On the counter, you find a wooden bowl containing several apples, their skins deep red and slightly wrinkled with storage, the kind that have been kept in a cool cellar. Next to them, a round loaf of dense brown bread sits wrapped in a clean cloth. In a small ceramic crock, butter stays cool and firm. A jar of honey catches the lamplight, its amber color glowing warmly. You reach for the loaf of bread, unwrapping the cloth and revealing the rough, crusty surface. Using a serrated knife from a drawer, you cut two thick slices, the blade sawing gently through the firm texture. The inside of the bread is dense and filled with seeds and grains. You can smell the wholesome, earthy scent of it. These slices go onto a simple ceramic plate. The butter requires a few minutes near the warmth to soften slightly. You place the crock closer to the edge of the counter, where the heat from the room can reach it while you attend to other preparations. From a hook above the stove, a cast iron kettle hangs ready. You take it to the sink and fill it with water from the hand pump, working the handle several times until clear, cold water flows out into the kettle. The pump squeaks slightly with each motion, a homely sound that belongs to this place. The small cast iron stove has been kept low with just enough fire to keep the top warm. You open the front door and add two pieces of split wood from a box kept nearby, watching as they catch from the existing coals and begin to burn more actively. Closing the door again, you place the kettle on top of the stove, where it will slowly begin to heat. While waiting, you return to the bread. The butter has softened just enough to spread without tearing the dense texture. You use a simple knife to spread a generous layer across each slice, watching it melt slightly into the surface. The honey jar requires a moment to open, the lid sealed tight, but it gives way with a satisfying pop. You drizzle golden honey over one slice of bread, watching it pool in the uneven surface before slowly sinking in. The combination of butter and honey on dark bread is simple and perfect. Taking one of the apples, you rinse it under a few palms of cold water, then dry it with a clean cloth. The skin is smooth and cool in your hand. You slice it into quarters, removing the core, then slice each quarter into thin pieces, arranging them on the plate beside the bread. Their white flesh contrasts with the dark bread, and the red skins curl slightly at the edges. On the shelves, you find a selection of teas in a wooden box. Opening it reveals small cloth bags labeled in simple handwriting: chamomile, peppermint, and a blend labeled simply mountain herbs. You select the herbal blend, placing one bag in a thick ceramic mug. The kettle on the stove has begun to make the first quiet sounds of heating, the water inside starting its slow movement toward a boil. You can wait patiently. There is nowhere else to be, nothing else requiring your attention. You carry the plate of food to the table and set it down, then return for a cloth napkin from a drawer. The simple ritual of setting your place at the table, even for a solitary meal, feels grounding and peaceful. You pull out one of the chairs, the legs scraping softly against the wooden floor, and sit down facing the fire. From here, you can see both the dancing flames and the window, where snow continues to fall in the gathering dusk. The kettle's quiet murmur grows gradually louder over the next few minutes. You sit calmly, watching the fire, in no hurry. When steam finally begins to pour steadily from the spout, you rise and carry your mug to the stove, filling it carefully with the hot water. The herbal tea bag darkens immediately as the water flows over it, releasing its fragrance into the air. Hints of mint, something floral, and a woody undertone you cannot quite identify. You return to the table with your tea, setting it down to steep. The bread is hearty and filling, requiring slow chewing to break down its dense texture. The butter adds richness, the honey provides sweetness, and together they create a satisfying combination. You eat without hurry, taking small bites, chewing thoroughly, occasionally pausing to look at the fire or watch the snow outside. The apple slices are crisp and slightly tart, their juice refreshing between bites of bread. The tea has steeped to a rich golden brown. You remove the bag, squeezing it gently against the side of the mug before setting it aside on a small plate. The first sip is hot and soothing, the herbs creating a complex flavor that warms you from the inside. You cradle the mug in both hands, feeling its heat against your palms, and take another slow sip. This simple meal, eaten alone in the warm cabin while snow falls outside, feels like one of the most satisfying experiences imaginable. There is something profound about the simplicity of it: good bread, fresh water, herb tea, and the warmth of a fire. Nothing complex or demanding, just basic nourishment and the peace to enjoy it without distraction. With your meal finished and the dishes carried back to the kitchen counter for washing later, you move to the armchair near the fire. The seat cushion yields softly beneath you as you settle in, the chair's worn comfort molding immediately to your body. You reach for the woolen blanket draped over the chair's back and pull it across your lap, tucking it around your legs. The fabric is heavy and soft, adding another layer of warmth, even though the room is already thoroughly heated. From this position, you have a perfect view of the window. The light outside has faded considerably now, moving from gray afternoon into the deeper blue-gray of early evening. The snow continues to fall, the flakes more visible now against the darkening sky. They drift past the window in varying speeds and patterns, some falling straight down in the still air, others caught by occasional gentle breezes and swirling in lazy spirals before continuing their descent. The landscape visible through the glass is simplified by the growing darkness into shapes and suggestions rather than clear details. The darker vertical lines of tree trunks stand out against the white snow covering the ground. The forest edge is perhaps 50 feet from the cabin, close enough to see individual trees, but far enough to create a sense of protective open space around your shelter. Between here and there, the meadow is smooth and unmarked except for your single line of footprints, which are rapidly being filled in and erased by the accumulating snow. You watch as the snow builds slowly on the outer sill of the window, creating a small drift that grows millimeter by millimeter. Each flake that lands contributes to the total, individual and insignificant alone, but collectively creating something substantial. There is something mesmerizing about watching this process, the steady accumulation, the patient building of the winter landscape. Time seems to slow even further as you observe, your breathing falling into a quiet rhythm that matches the gentle, endless falling of snow. Occasionally, movement catches your eye at the forest edge. A shape moves between trees, perhaps a deer making its way through the woods, or a fox on its evening rounds. The animals are dark shadows against the snow, there and then gone, going about their lives in the winter landscape. They do not approach the cabin, but pass by at a distance, wild and free, part of the natural world that surrounds this small outpost of human warmth and shelter. The fire behind you continues its steady burning, and you can hear its soft crackling and popping, a peaceful counterpoint to the silence of the falling snow outside. The oil lamp on the mantel casts its steady golden glow. Between the fire and the lamp, the room is filled with warm, living light that contrasts beautifully with the cool blue-white darkness visible through the window. You exist in this comfortable boundary between the warm interior and the cold exterior, safe and sheltered, yet connected to the wild beauty outside. As you continue to watch, the snow begins to fall more heavily. The individual flakes become harder to track as they multiply and overlap. The air outside fills with white, creating an effect almost like a curtain between you and the forest. The trees become less distinct, their outlines softening and blurring. The world is being gently erased, covered over, simplified into the most basic elements: white snow, dark trees, gray sky. Your eyelids are growing heavier as you sit here in the warmth. The combination of the walk through the cold, the warm meal, the heat of the fire, and the hypnotic quality of watching the endless snowfall all contribute to a deep sense of relaxation. Your body sinks more heavily into the chair. Your muscles release their last bits of tension. Your breathing becomes slower and deeper without any conscious effort. The snow continues its patient work, building and accumulating, transforming the landscape into something pristine and untouched. You watch without thinking, without analyzing, simply observing the beauty of this natural process. There is nothing you need to do, nowhere you need to be. The cabin is warm, the fire is tended, the night is young and peaceful. You are exactly where you should be, doing exactly what you should be doing, which is simply existing in this moment of perfect peace. Minutes pass, perhaps many of them, perhaps few. It is impossible to tell and unimportant to measure. The quality of the light outside continues to deepen as evening moves toward night. The snow never stops, never pauses, constant and gentle and thorough. The silence is profound, broken only by the fire's quiet voice and the occasional settling of the cabin's timbers as they adjust to the temperature. A deep sense of gratitude wells up quietly within you. Gratitude for this shelter, for this warmth, for this moment of solitude and peace. The world outside may be cold and demanding, but here, now, in this small cabin surrounded by snow-covered forest, there is only warmth, comfort, and the simple pleasure of being alive and safe. Eventually, you stir from your snow-watching meditation, your awareness returning gently to the room. Your muscles are thoroughly relaxed now, your body feeling heavy and comfortable in the armchair. You reach for the book you placed on the side table earlier, your movements slow and unhurried. The cover is cloth bound in deep blue, worn soft at the corners from previous readings. You do not look at the title or the author. It does not matter. This book is simply a collection of quiet stories, the kind meant for reading in peaceful moments like this one. Opening the book to a random page, you let it fall open where it will. The pages are cream-colored and slightly thick, pleasant to touch. The typeface is clear and easy to read even in the lamplight. You settle back into the chair, adjusting the blanket across your lap, and position the book at a comfortable angle. The light from the fire and the oil lamp together provide more than enough illumination, casting a warm glow across the pages. You begin to read, your eyes moving slowly across the lines. The story that unfolds is gentle and meandering, something about a traveler journeying through countryside in autumn, stopping at small villages, meeting kind people, sharing simple meals. There is no conflict or tension in the narrative, no dramatic revelations or shocking twists. It is simply a story of movement and observation, of small kindnesses and quiet beauty noticed in passing. The act of reading becomes its own meditation. Your eyes track the words, your mind forms the images, but there is no urgency to the process. When you reach the bottom of a page, you pause for a moment before turning it, sometimes glancing up at the fire or toward the window before returning your attention to the text. If your mind wanders from the story, you simply notice this and gently return to the words. No judgment or frustration, just a patient redirection. The fire continues to burn steadily, requiring no attention yet. The logs you added earlier have caught well and are burning down slowly into glowing coals that radiate tremendous heat. The flames have settled into a more consistent pattern now, less dramatically leaping and more quietly flickering, though still beautiful in their constant motion. The play of light across the stone fireplace and wooden walls creates an ever-changing tapestry of shadow and illumination. Outside, full darkness has arrived. The window now reflects the interior of the cabin more than it reveals the exterior, though you can still see the snow falling through the reflected lamplight, each flake briefly visible as it passes through the glow before disappearing into the darkness beyond. The world has contracted to this small sphere of warmth and light, everything beyond the cabin walls fading into the winter night. You read for a long time, losing track of pages and minutes. The story winds on through its gentle landscapes, introducing characters who appear briefly, speak a few kind words, share what they have, and then fade back into the narrative. There is something deeply soothing about this kind of story, one that asks nothing of you except your presence, that requires no emotional investment or intellectual engagement beyond simple attention. Your breathing has become very slow and deep, each breath extending longer than the last. The blanket across your lap is warm without being too warm. The chair supports your body perfectly, and the book rests lightly in your hands. Your shoulders have dropped completely, releasing tension you did not even know you were holding. Your jaw is relaxed, your face peaceful, your entire body in a state of deep rest, even though you are technically still awake and reading. The cabin is utterly quiet except for the fire's whisper and the occasional creak of timber. Even these sounds are soft and far between, more felt than heard, part of the natural breathing of the structure around you. The isolation is complete but not lonely. Instead, it feels like a gift, a rare opportunity to exist without the need to interact or perform or maintain. You can simply be exactly as you are, without judgment or expectation. Eventually, you notice that you have read the same paragraph 3 times without absorbing its meaning. Your eyes are growing heavy, the words blurring slightly at their edges. This is not a problem requiring solution, but simply information about your body's state. You mark your place in the book with a ribbon attached to the spine. Close it gently, and set it back on the side table beside the reading glasses you did not need. The fire has burned down considerably while you were reading, though it still provides good heat. Now is the time to tend it, to ensure the cabin will stay warm through the night. You push the blanket aside and rise from the chair, feeling a pleasant stiffness in your muscles from sitting so long in one position. You stretch slowly, arms overhead, feeling your spine lengthen and your shoulders roll back. The stretch feels wonderful, and you hold it for several breaths before releasing. Walking to the fireplace, you kneel on the braided rug before it, feeling the heat against your face. Using the iron poker hanging from a hook nearby, you carefully rearrange the remaining logs and coals, breaking up the larger pieces and spreading the coals to create a good base for new wood. The poker is heavy and cool in your hand, its handle worn smooth by countless previous uses. The firewood box next to the hearth still contains several split logs. You select 3 of them, each about the thickness of your wrist and perhaps 18 inches long. Dried properly and seasoned, they feel light and dense at once, their bark papery and loose. You place them carefully on the cool bed, arranging them with small gaps between so air can circulate. Almost immediately, small flames begin to lick up around the new wood, finding purchase and spreading. Within a minute, the fire is renewed, burning more actively again, ensuring warmth for the hours ahead. You return the poker to its hook and stand, brushing your hands together to remove any bits of bark or ash. Walking to the kitchen area, you pump fresh water into a basin and wash your hands, the cold water shocking at first, but refreshing. You dry them on a clean towel hanging from a wooden bar. The tea kettle still sits on the stove, its water long since cooled. You consider whether you want another warm drink before bed. The answer is yes, but something different this time. Looking through the tea selection again, you choose chamomile, known for its calming properties and gentle, apple-like flavor. You place a tea bag in your mug and use the last of the warm water from the kettle to make a weak infusion, adding cold water until it is the perfect temperature for sipping, warm and soothing, but not so hot as to require waiting. You carry the mug back toward the sitting area, but instead of returning to the armchair, you walk to the window. Standing close to the glass, you can feel the cold radiating from it despite the warmth of the room. The temperature difference is significant, a reminder of the harsh conditions just beyond this thin barrier. But the glass holds, the walls stand firm, the fire burns on. You are safe and protected. The snow outside has accumulated significantly. The windowsill's small drift is now several inches deep. The meadow is completely smooth and white, your footprints entirely erased as though you never walked across it at all. The forest edge is barely visible now, just darker shapes against the dark sky. The snowfall has lightened somewhat, the flakes smaller and fewer, though still persistent. You sip the chamomile tea slowly, savoring its gentle flavor and the warmth spreading through your chest. The ritual of the evening is winding down naturally toward sleep. Your body knows this pattern, recognizes these signals, begins preparing itself for rest. Your thoughts are quiet, barely present at all, just simple observations of the moment without attachment or elaboration. When the tea is finished, you rinse the mug in the basin and place it on the counter to dry. You check the fire one last time, satisfied that it will burn safely and warmly for several hours. The oil lamp on the mantel has burned down somewhat, but there is still plenty of fuel. You adjust the wick slightly lower, dimming its light to a soft glow that will last through the night if needed. You move through the cabin slowly, a final check before sleep. Everything is in order. The door is firmly closed and latched. The windows are secure. The kitchen is tidy. Your boots sit neatly by the entrance. The book and journal wait patiently on the side table for tomorrow. There is nothing requiring attention, nothing left undone. The cabin is a small, perfect world, complete unto itself. The doorway to the bedroom draws you now. You are ready for the final transition from wakefulness to sleep, ready to surrender to the deep rest that has been building all evening. You take one last look around the main room, appreciating its simple beauty, its honest functionality, its welcoming warmth. Then you turn toward the bedroom, stepping through the doorway into the darkness beyond. The bedroom is smaller than the main room, but this only adds to its sense of being a protected nest, a refuge within a refuge. You reach for the doorframe and find a candle in a holder mounted there, along with matches. Striking one, you light the candle, and its small flame pushes back the darkness, revealing the space in gentle illumination. The room contains the essentials and nothing more. Against the far wall stands a simple bed frame made of dark wood, solid and sturdy. On it lies a thick mattress covered with clean white sheets and a heavy woolen blanket in a dark red color. Piled at the head of the bed are 3 pillows of varying sizes, their cases also white, promising soft support. Over the foot of the bed, a thick quilt has been folded, available if additional warmth is needed during the night. A small window on the wall opposite the door offers another view of the winter landscape, though from this angle you can see more forest and less meadow. A simple wooden nightstand beside the bed holds a candle holder, currently empty, and nothing else. The floor is bare wood, smooth and clean, with a small rag rug beside the bed where feet might first touch down in the morning. The wall shared with the main room radiates warmth from the fireplace on its other side. The stones of the chimney pass through this space, and their thermal mass holds and releases heat steadily. The bedroom is slightly cooler than the main room, but far from cold. The temperature is perfect for sleeping, cool enough to make the heavy blankets welcome, but warm enough for comfort. You carry your candle to the nightstand and place it in the empty holder there. The small flame flickers with the movement, but does not go out, settling into steady burning once placed. Its light is minimal, but sufficient, casting a golden glow across the bed and creating deep shadows in the corners of the room. This dim light is perfect for the transition into sleep, enough to see by, but not enough to stimulate wakefulness. Sitting on the edge of the bed, you feel the mattress give slightly beneath your weight. It is firm but comfortable, supportive without being hard. You reach down and remove your socks, setting them aside. The floor is cool against your bare feet, a pleasant sensation. You stand and change into sleeping clothes, soft flannel pants, and a long-sleeved shirt, both worn and comfortable, the kind of garments that feel like an embrace. The fabric is slightly cool at first, but quickly warms to your body temperature. You pull back the woolen blanket and the top sheet, revealing the bottom sheet stretched tight across the mattress. Sliding between the sheets, you feel their slight coolness, which will quickly be warmed by your body heat. You arrange the pillows beneath your head, positioning them until the height and support are exactly right. Then you pull the covers up, first the sheet, then the blanket, feeling their weight settle over you gradually and evenly. The sensation is immediately comforting. The bed is soft but supportive. The pillows cradle your head and neck. The covers provide weight and warmth without being too heavy or too hot. You lie on your back, arms at your sides, and take a slow, deep breath, feeling your entire body sink slightly deeper into the mattress. Another breath, and you sink deeper still. The tension of remaining upright all day finally releases completely, your spine lengthening, your muscles going soft. From this position, you can see the window. The view is mostly of darkness now, with snow still falling through it, the flakes visible when they pass close to the glass, illuminated by some faint reflection of your candle's light. The forest beyond is a dark mass, solid and present, but undefined. The snow on the windowsill has built up noticeably even in the short time since you last looked, creating a small drift that obscures the bottom portion of the glass. The candle on the nightstand continues to burn, its flame steady and gentle. You watch it for a while, observing how the light plays across the ceiling, how shadows move when the flame wavers in some invisible air current. The dancing light is mesmerizing, but not stimulating, perfect for this in-between state as you drift toward sleep. Your body feels heavy now, deeply heavy, as though you are sinking into the bed, or perhaps the bed is rising around you, enfolding you in its soft embrace. The blanket's weight is distributed evenly across your body, creating a sense of being gently pressed down, held in place, secure and safe. Your breathing has slowed to perhaps 6 or 8 breaths per minute, each one deep and full, the pause between breaths growing longer. As you lie in the stillness, your hearing seems to sharpen, becoming more acute in the darkness. The cabin and the world around it are not silent, you realize, but filled with very quiet sounds that speak to the nature of this place and this night. From the main room, you can hear the fire's continued presence, though it is much quieter now, having settled into the long, slow burn of the night. Occasionally, a log shifts in the firebox, settling as it is consumed, creating a soft thump followed by a brief increase in the crackle of flames. These sounds are comforting rather than disturbing, reminders that the fire continues its work of keeping the cabin warm while you sleep. The cabin itself speaks in small, infrequent sounds. The wood of the walls and beams expands and contracts minutely with changes in temperature and humidity, creating soft creaks and pops. These are the sounds of a living structure, one that breathes and moves in its own slow way. Each small creak is different, coming from different locations. Here a beam overhead, there a floorboard in the main room, there again a timber in the wall. They form no pattern, but arrive randomly, small punctuations in the silence. Outside, the wind has picked up slightly. It is not strong or fierce, not a winter storm wind, but a gentle breeze that moves through the forest. You can hear it in the trees, a soft sighing sound as air moves through pine needles and around bare branches. It rises and falls in slow waves, approaching from one direction, passing over the cabin, fading away into the distance. Each passage takes perhaps 30 seconds, the sound growing from nothing to a soft whisper, and then fading back to nothing again. Very faintly, So quiet you are not sure at first if you are hearing or imagining it. Comes the sound of snow falling. It is not the snow itself making noise, but rather the accumulated effect of millions of tiny flakes landing on the roof, on the trees, on the ground. It creates something more felt than heard, a soft presence, a gentle static at the very edge of perception. You focus on it, trying to hear it more clearly. But the more you focus, the more it seems to fade. Only when you relax your attention does it return. A whisper of a whisper, barely there. From somewhere in the forest, perhaps a quarter-mile away, comes the call of an owl. The sound is low and resonant, carrying clearly through the cold air. Who, who, who. A pause, then the call repeats. And again, it is hunting, you realize, calling to mark territory or communicate with a mate. The sound is ancient and wild, a voice that has echoed through these forests for thousands of years, unchanged and unchanging. After several repetitions, the owl falls silent, or perhaps moves farther away, because you hear it no more. These sounds do not disturb your descent towards sleep, but rather enhance it, creating a soundscape that is peaceful and natural. There is nothing mechanical, nothing harsh, nothing sudden or alarming. Each sound belongs to this place and this moment, a thread in the fabric of the winter night. Your consciousness drifts among them, not attaching to any particular sound, but aware of all of them, floating in the gentle audio environment of the cabin and the forest. Your breathing has synchronized somehow with the rhythm of the wind's passage through the trees. When you hear it approach and build, your breath flows in. When it fades, your breath flows out. This synchronization is not conscious or deliberate, but happens naturally, your body finding harmony with the world around it. In this rhythm, you drift deeper into relaxation, moving closer to the threshold between waking and sleeping. The weight of the covers feels even heavier now, or perhaps you have simply grown more aware of it. The pressure is pleasant and reassuring, like a gentle hand resting on your shoulder. The pillows support your head perfectly, requiring no adjustment. The mattress beneath you seems to have formed itself exactly to your body's contours. Every physical element is aligned for complete comfort and rest. Your thoughts, such as they are, have become fragmented and dreamlike. Images drift through your mind without narrative or connection. The snow falling, the fire burning, the forest dark and deep, the cabin warm and small. None of these images demand attention or analysis. They simply float past like clouds across an empty sky, present and then gone, replaced by nothing or by another equally gentle and meaningless image. At some point, whether it is 1 hour later or 3, you cannot know and do not care. You become gently aware again, surfacing slightly from the depths you have drifted into. You have not been fully asleep, but not fully awake either, existing in that peaceful liminal space between the two states. The candle on the nightstand has burned very low, its flame small, but still steady, still providing a soft glow. You open your eyes slowly, without effort or intention, simply allowing them to open. The room is mostly in darkness, the candle's light creating a small sphere of gold that barely reaches the walls. You can see the window, or rather you can see the lighter square of the window against the darker wall. Snow is still falling outside, visible as faint white lines against the darkness. A thought drifts through your mind. The fire in the other room. How is it burning? Does it need tending? The thought is lazy and unhurried, more observation than concern. After a long moment, curiosity moves you to action. though the action is slow and gentle. You push back the covers, feeling the cooler air of the room against your skin, and swing your legs out of bed. Your feet find the floor, and you stand, taking a moment to let your body adjust to the vertical position. Walking to the doorway between the bedroom and the main room, you lean against the frame and look out. The fire has burned down to a bed of glowing coals, deep red and orange, pulsing slightly with radiant heat. There are no more flames, just this solid mass of heat that will continue for hours. The room is still very warm, the temperature comfortable. The fire needs no attention yet, and will not for some time. The oil lamp on the mantel has burned down too, its light lower now, but still steady. Together with the coal's glow, it provides enough light to see the entire room in shades of gold and shadow. Everything is exactly as you left it: the armchair with its blanket, the table with its two chairs, the kitchen area tidy and still. The windows show only darkness and falling snow. You walk slowly to one of the windows, drawn by the continuation of the snowfall. How long has it been falling now? 6 hours? 8? Longer. Time has lost its meaning, and the snow seems eternal, as though it has always been falling and always will be. The accumulation must be significant now, perhaps 6 or 8 inches of new snow added to what was already on the ground. The world outside has been completely transformed, softened and simplified under this deep blanket. Standing at the window, you place your palm against the glass. It is cold, very cold, the temperature differential between inside and outside creating a sharp sensation against your skin. You hold your hand there for a moment, feeling the cold seep into your palm, then pull it away. A faint print of fog appears where your warm hand contacted the cold glass, but it fades quickly in the dry air. The forest is invisible now except as a dark presence at the edge of perception. The trees might as well not exist for all you can see of them. The meadow is gone, merged with the sky into one continuous field of gentle darkness punctuated by falling snow. The cabin has become its own universe, a single point of warmth and light in an infinite, cold darkness. But the darkness is not threatening. It is simply there, vast and neutral, the natural state of the winter night. You stand at the window for several minutes, perhaps longer, watching the snow fall and fall and fall, endless and patient. Your mind is quiet, thoughts reduced to simple observations that arise and fade without leaving traces. The warmth of the cabin surrounds you. The cold of the night remains outside where it belongs. All is well. All is exactly as it should be. Eventually, your body's wisdom suggests a return to the bed's warmth. You turn from the window and walk back through the darkened main room, pausing only briefly to look once more at the coal bed glowing in the fireplace. The coals will burn for hours still, requiring nothing from you. The cabin is safe and warm, and will remain so until morning and beyond. Back in the bedroom, you slip between the sheets again, feeling their warmth immediately. They have retained your body heat during your brief absence, creating a warm nest that welcomes you back. You settle into your previous position, adjusting the pillows slightly, pulling the covers up, and feeling their weight return. Your body relaxes immediately, knowing this place, feeling safe and comfortable, and ready to descend once more into deeper rest. You drift in and out of light sleep for a time, aware of the passage of time only in the most abstract way. The candle burns out at some point, its flame finally consuming the last of the wax and guttering into darkness. You notice this in a vague way, but feel no need to rise and light another. The darkness is complete and comfortable, perfect for sleep. Slowly, imperceptibly at first, the quality of the darkness begins to change. If you were fully asleep, you would not notice, but in your light, drifting state, you become gradually aware that the window is no longer quite as dark as it was. The change is minimal at first, barely there, just a subtle shift from absolute darkness to the faintest suggestion of gray. Time continues its patient movement. The gray at the window becomes slightly less dark, though it cannot yet be called light. It is simply less dark, a gradual lifting of the deepest night toward something approaching twilight. The snow has stopped falling at some point during the small hours, and now the clouds are beginning to thin and break apart, allowing the first hints of the coming dawn to filter through. You lie still, watching this slow transformation through half-closed eyes. There is no thought of rising, no impulse to begin the day. This is simply something beautiful happening, something worth witnessing in a quiet way. Your body remains deeply relaxed, your breathing slow and even, your mind barely engaged beyond simple observation. The gray grows gradually lighter, moving through shades imperceptibly. Now you can see the outline of the window frame against the wall. Now you can distinguish between the glass and the surrounding wall. Now you can see that the snow has indeed stopped, and the sky is clearing from the east, where the first suggestions of color are beginning to appear. Not the gold and red of sunrise yet, but just the palest hint of blue, the color of sky remembering. It is sky. The forest outside begins to resolve from darkness into form. Individual trees can be distinguished now, their shapes black against the lightening sky. The meadow appears, a smooth white expanse glowing slightly in the growing light. Everything is covered in new snow, pristine and untouched, a blank page waiting for the day to write upon it. Inside the cabin, the main room is still dark, lit only by the faint red glow of coals in the fireplace. But the light coming through the bedroom window is enough now to see by. A soft gray illumination that renders everything in gentle tones without color. You can see the foot of the bed, the simple nightstand, the door frame leading to the main room. Everything is quiet and still, suspended in this moment between night and day. The light continues to strengthen gradually. Now there is definitely blue in the sky, a clear, pale blue that grows deeper and richer moment by moment. The clouds that brought the snow have moved on or dissipated, leaving only a few wispy remnants that catch the approaching sunrise and glow faintly pink along their edges. The stars, which you could not see through the cloud cover during the night, have faded into invisibility as the light increases. A bird calls somewhere in the forest, the first sound of the morning. Its song is clear and simple, 3 notes repeated several times, then silence. After a minute, another bird answers from a different direction. Then another. The forest is waking slowly, the creatures that survived the night's cold now greeting the new day. But there is no urgency in these sounds, no frenzy. The awakening is gentle and gradual, matching the slow arrival of light. You remain in bed, warm and comfortable, content to simply witness this transition. There is no schedule to keep, no obligations waiting. The cabin is warm enough, the fire's coals still radiating heat, even without flames. You could rise and add wood, rekindle the blaze, begin the activities of the day. But not yet. Not quite yet. First, you will simply lie here and watch the light grow and listen to the forest wake. and feel the deep peace of this moment. The sun itself has not yet appeared above the horizon, but its light is filling the eastern sky now, painting the clouds there in shades of pink and gold and orange. The light reflects off the snow-covered meadow and forest, making everything glow softly. The world is being remade in light, the darkness withdrawing gently, giving way to the new day without resistance or drama. Inside your warm nest of blankets and pillows, you feel a deep contentment, a sense of completion. The night has passed peacefully. The cabin has sheltered you well. The fire has kept its promise of warmth. The snow has fallen and stopped and left behind this pristine beauty. Everything is well. Everything is exactly as it should be. You take a slow, deep breath, feeling your lungs fill completely, then exhale just as slowly, releasing every last bit of air. Another breath, slow and full, and another. Your body remains deeply relaxed, your mind peaceful and quiet. There is nowhere to go, nothing to do, no one to be except exactly who and where you are in this moment. The light continues to grow, inevitable and patient. Soon the sun will rise fully, and the day will begin in earnest. But for now, for these last few moments, you rest in this perfect threshold between sleep and waking, between night and day, between solitude and the world. You rest in warmth and safety and peace, and it is enough. It is everything. It is perfect. The cabin stands solid around you, warm and protective. The forest surrounds the cabin, wild and beautiful. The snow covers everything in pristine white. And you lie here, breathing slowly, existing peacefully, connected to all of it yet separate, safe in your small shelter while the vast world turns slowly into morning. This is peace. This is rest. This is everything you need. And so you drift, floating in this perfect moment, as the light grows and the world wakes and everything remains exactly, perfectly, peacefully as it is. If you like this video, please remember to like, subscribe, and share your thoughts in the comments. Sweet dreams, and see you in the next one.